welcome everybody. You need a pen or a pencil on your desk and your academic vocabulary toolkit. We're going to start on page 134. Please open up your book so that you are on page 134. Page 134. Javier is ready. Melvin's ready. Jamie's ready. Excellent job. Just look at your partner. Make sure they're also on page 134. We are all ready to go. Today we're going to learn two words, and we're going to start with the word perspective. And we're learning the word perspective today because this is a word that you're going to see in all content areas at school. You will likely read this word in science class. You'll see this word in social studies class. You'll see this word perhaps even in art class. The word perspective is used all over, which is why it is so important that we really own this word and the word belong to us, both in speaking and in writing. The word is up here. Please point to the word perspective, even though it seems weird on this screen. Okay, perspective. And let's say that word a couple times together. The word is perspective. Everyone? Perspective. Perspective. Everyone? Perspective. This word is a noun. It's a thing. It's an idea. Perspective. Can please you give me a thumbs up if you know that there's a cognate in Spanish to this word? Does this word sound familiar to you? Who can say what this word is in Spanish? Marcos.
Perspectiva.
Perspectiva. Who can say that word one more time for us in Spanish? Jamie?
Perspectiva.
Perspectiva. Very good. So as we learn the word perspective, it might help to think a little about the Spanish cognate perspectiva. Please put your finger where it says say it. Let's look. The word perspective has 3 syllables, and the middle syllable is emphasized. So it's pronounced perspective, perspective. Get your guitar hero finger ready, please, or you can stomp if you prefer. Let's count out the syllables of that word. Go. Perspective. Again, perspective. One last time, perspective. Fantastic. Please get your pen or pencil, and let's write perspective on the line. Be very cautious to write that word correctly. Now that we've said the word a couple times, let's learn a little about what it means. The meaning of this word is the way someone sees or thinks about something. This is the person's perspective. A synonym for this word is point of view. So we all have a different perspective. We all see the world in different ways. For example, I have a different perspective, a different way of seeing how you dress than you do. This morning, I was on my way into school, and I saw an 8th grader who was wearing his pants way down here. Raise your hand if you occasionally see students wearing their pants with their underwear completely showing. Yes, okay. From my perspective, this is not good fashion. I did not appreciate this child showing me his underwear. From my perspective, that looks silly and goofy, but I can tell you that from his perspective, it probably looks awesome. He loves it. It's fashionable. It's cool. So we have different, everyone, perspectives on this type of fashion. Let's look at our example here. When you have an argument, everybody please fill in the blank, with a friend, you should try to see the issue from his or her perspective. When you have an argument, you should try to see the issue from his or her perspective. And we can look at our picture here and see these two people. They do not look very happy. They're having an argument, but in their attempt to talk it out, they're attempting to see one another's perspective, because that helps if you think about what the other person's point of view is. Let's read this sentence together. I'll read, then you're going to read. When you have an argument with a friend, you should try to see the issue from his or her perspective. Fantastic. I love the students who are sitting up, who talk to me with their hands away from their face. Okay, please put your hands down. Let's take a look here at the forms of the word. There are 2 forms of this word: singular, one person's perspective, and plural. There can be more than one perspective. If it's plural, we say perspectives. Take your pen or pencil, please, and underline the S. We add an S at the end in order to make this word plural. So I have one perspective. This class has many, everyone, perspectives. Now let's take a look at our word partners. The word perspective, we're going to see it hand in hand with other words in English commonly. These are called word partners. Our first word partner is different. You will often see the phrase different perspectives. Let's read the sentence. Jamal and I have different perspectives on the issue of global warming. Jamal and I see it a different way. We have different perspectives. Underline, please. Let's read that sentence together. Jamal and I have different perspectives on the issue of global warming. Fabulous. We will also see the word perspective with these words, from, and then we can either say my perspective, your perspective, his perspective, her perspective, our perspective, or even their perspective. For example, the governor is considering reducing schools' budget, but from my perspective, we should give schools more funding. Please underline from my perspective. A common word partner, from my perspective, meaning what I think. Let's read that together. The governor is considering reducing schools' budgets.
The governor is considering reducing schools' budgets.
Let's try that one more time. Let's try it a little louder, all right? Maybe we'll break the phrase up for you. A little louder. Sit up, please. Hands away from your face. The governor is considering reducing schools' budgets. But from my perspective, we should give schools more funding. Fantastic. The last word you will commonly see the word perspective with is unique. And unique means special. If something is unique, it's one of a kind, there's nothing else really like it. So we will often see the phrase unique perspective. For example, artists have a unique perspective on street graffiti. Artists look at street graffiti and they see something different than when I look at street graffiti. Please underline the words unique perspective. Let's read this sentence together. Artists have a unique perspective. Everyone.
Artists have a unique perspective
On street graffiti.